Warm applause. It should already be on. I believe I turned it on already. But just doing a little mic check here.
Is it on? Oh, hey.
Yeah. Hey! Thank you guys so much for coming. As always, comedy works best in a really big room with everyone spread out as far as possible. You two are going to have the best experience out of all the shows.
No, they are. Because I'm occasionally just going to be like, no, are you guys specifically? You two, are you with me?
Yeah,
yes,
all right, good. You're going to be
I'm
the
also
barometer
real
of this
nearsighted,
show.
so you're going to have to be real clear.
You're perfect to have a good time. That's great. I might jump into the crowd, so I might need you guys to catch me.
There's always two kinds of people. There's people who are like, I'm down, and then there's people who are like, you're going to die.
Yeah. But no one ever says they're not going to do it. They either say they're going to do it and are super excited, or say they're going to do it and plan to drop me. It's great. But thank you guys so much for coming out. We're Plus 2 Comedy. We start in 13 minutes, so this is not the show.
No, oh God.
Don't think this is the show. The show is in 12 minutes. I love that it constantly updates. That's great. But thank you guys so much for coming. We are Plus 2 Comedy. That's Laura Prince. I'm Noah Houlihan. Hi. Who saw MAGFest or Maglaughs last year? Okay, a couple of you.
Good.
All right, cool. So they only brought us back. I don't know what happened to everybody else, but it's just us now. So I hope you're cool with that. For those of you who haven't seen Maglaughs before, is it called MAGComedy now? Yeah, first off, they changed the name. It's MAGComedy now. But we are nerd-specific stand-up comedians, so we'll be doing stand-up comedy about all the things you love, which I know sounds scary that you're going to come in here, love things, and I'm going to make fun of them. But I promise we're going to have a good time. I thought you guys would be with me, but you guys are not. There, yeah, one person. Woo!
I mean, you kind of came at that with like, hey, you know everything you love, we're going to mock it.
Yes, and I was trying to say it's going to be cool.
You forgot a really important part of it is that we also like those things.
Yes, that's why we make fun of them. We make
we're
fun
not
of the things
stuffing
we love.
anybody into the lockers. Who here happens to think they can fit in the lockers, though?
That was my immediate thought. As soon as I walked in, I was like, someone's getting in these lockers.
I'm going to be honest. I was picturing, like, theme park lockers when I paid for the rental. And when I walked in, they were full-on middle school lockers. I was like, someone is going to try to fit themselves into this.
We can't. No, we can't. Don't.
No, we're taking it back. We're stuffing ourselves into lockers now.
No. Let's not be a stereotype. We can't have on the news.
We're taking it back.
Nerd stuck in locker at video game convention. We can't have that. It's going to be a bad look for us. If you guys didn't know, you can also watch this stuff streaming and also in your hotel room on Channel 51, except for this panel because it got blocked. Did you guys hear that Panel Room 1 got a copyright strike and is down for 24 hours? That's a real thing that happened to spoil my show.
Oh, my gosh.
So if you have anyone you know that's planning to watch this remotely, call them. Tell them to be here because they will miss the show otherwise.
There's no way for them to get a badge. Badges are sold out.
That's a good point. The badges are, in fact, sold out. That was the first time for MAGFest, right? The first time that we ever sold out completely?
Since 9, I believe, and 9 was back at the Alexandria Mark.
Oh, okay. First time here.
Yes.
That's amazing. What a great accomplishment that made everybody panic. We're sold out. Yay, we're sorry. Oh.
Well, I mean, we're all happy they're sold
we're
out,
here.
right?
We made it.
Yeah.
Forget all those people.
We're all happy for MAGFest. maybe not so much people who are not here.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's not streaming. It's fine.
All right, cool.
They don't know that we're talking bad about them.
We're not talking badly about them.
I was gonna.
We're just implying they might not be happy about that.
So we got 9 minutes before we get this show started. Just so you guys know, what we like to do is we're going to be doing some stand-up comedy. Again, the show is not this. But at the end, we also like to end with a Q&A. If you want to ask us about us and about comedy, you can. But also, you can ask us any nerd question that you have in the back of your mind that you'd want us to settle. Like, don't ask us trivia. That's not what the point of this is. If you have a personal question, you want a definitive answer, Plus 2 Comedy will bring it to you. That is a guarantee. It's a guarantee.
I signed nothing.
It's a guarantee. You heard it here first.
You're writing checks with your mouth that I have no intention of cashing.
Who was at Taskmaster? Did anyone see me at Taskmaster? I got 3 people. That's how great I did at Taskmaster.
Hey,
I
people who
convinced
were at
3 people
Taskmaster,
to
how
come.
did Noah do in Taskmaster?
Last
Wait,
place at Taskmaster.
Hear that one more time?
Last place.
I came in last place at Taskmaster. I was so excited to do Taskmaster, I couldn't sleep last night. I was like, I'm going to do Taskmaster. It's going to be great. And I did miserable for an hour. It was great. You guys should have been there. I am the only person who can draw a snake. This is a joke for 3 people now. I'm the only person who can. No one else can draw. Other people can draw lines pretty well. I can draw a snake. If you're wondering what I'm talking about, be sure to check out the Panel 2 Twitch stream, which does work and has not gotten a copyright strike. It is warm up here.
It's not that bad.
I'm in a flannel. That was a mistake. I'm going to lose the flannel. Wait. Okay. Clink. I thought you were spiking me.
Oh, yeah, that's spiked water. No, these are my clothes.
I wanted to wear this because I thought it would be a good, like, Taskmaster, I'm the teal guy costume. And Laura was like, I'm wearing this and I'm not changing because of you. So that's kind of how it went down.
I essentially only own things that are this color, so like everything I own is blue, so I just kind of like, this is what I'm going with.
Everybody likes the aisle seat, I noticed.
Yeah, it's so that like
I
one,
guess
it's
that
easier
makes
to
sense.
see. 2,
I feel like it's easier to see from the front row, but maybe
you can
I'm
control
crazy.
who's next to you.
That's true. That's true.
That's why I always sit in the aisle. Like I don't want to sit next to like somebody I don't know.
You like the windows? I'm trying to sit by the door. I want to keep an idea of what's going on
You want
outside
to sit by
at
the
all
window
times.
of the windowless theater? The only time I didn't have a window seat was window seat. Now, the only time I went to the movies and didn't sit in the aisle was I went to see Mamma Mia with my mother, and then like I was, like in my late teens, I think at the time, and there's a whole song about your daughter growing up and leaving you, and it's the only movie I didn't sit where I could make an exit.
Oh, you were
So my
locked
mom
in?
is crying, and I literally am like, I have to go to the bathroom, and I army crawl across a movie. Yeah,
That's sticky.
army crawl across a movie theater floor to not have to watch my mom cry over ABBA. I'll do it again too.
We do also have one more panel after this we're doing. We are doing Game the Gamer, technically Sunday morning, but it's tomorrow night. Like, we all know what it means. So at 12:30 in the morning, we are doing Game the Gamer. It is a game where you are given...
If you liked Noah being part of ripping off Taskmaster,
Oh, yeah.
watch Noah rip off Cutthroat Kitchen.
Yeah. So basically, we're going to start with 4 contestants. We're going to give each of them 50 mag points. And all you have to do is win 3 video games to keep your mag points. But you could also spend your mag points to make it harder for all your other competitors. So I have a bag of goodies that are going to make the games much harder to play. One time I did this, I brought an inversion table and I suspended someone upside down. I couldn't fit that in my car this time. But that just to give you an idea of the insanity that is Game the Gamer.
Was that
It's
a
a good time.
MAGFest that we did that?
We did that at too many games.
Yeah, I couldn't remember if we'd ever brought that to MAGFest.
Because it was great just running around a convention with an inversion table. There was also a con where I electrocuted somebody, and staff was like, hey, you probably shouldn't do that. And I was like, yeah, but we're mid-game now. We're not electrocuting anyone tomorrow. Maybe.
I do like that staff were like, maybe don't. Okay. Well, I guess.
Yeah, 4 minutes. From what I understand, the concerts are like running late.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
I'm
we're
not gonna-
also
Thank you so much for picking
we're
us.
also
I'm
doing
not
like
going to say
Monster
what that is
Smasher
because I want
Pass.
people
I
to lose.
think.
Yeah. Yeah, at 10 o'clock
Yeah,
there
like
was...
so overlapping.
Thank you. I'm going to do all my comedy right here. Just dead eye contact.
I genuinely...
Laura's going to do it for the couple in the back, and I'm going to do it up here. And
I
just the
genuinely
whole
do
middle's get nothing.
I like this better than last year when it was dark, because I actually do like when I can see everybody.
Yeah, this is meant to be a party. Exactly.
I actually do really like when I can see people and speak to people.
Did anyone get the swag badge this year?
The swag.
Yeah, there's one. I'm just curious what it does this year. Because, like, last year it controlled... Oh, really? Because I got the very first swag badge ever. It was at Maglaughs when they were, like, just trying it out. And they gave me a swag badge, and it was so sharp. They're like, oh, we didn't test this at all. It would just, like, swing and cut your shirt open.
Yeah, the Maglaughs...
We've come a long way, is what I'm saying.
They're in the museum now, which makes me feel really good about how old I am.
You check it out. There's blood on it.
They were
2 minutes.
weirdly sharp.
2-minute warning. 2-minute warning. Everybody filing in. You guys come from the concerts? Where'd you guys come from? Concert? Well, thanks for coming here afterwards. Everyone's entering at such a pace that it feels like they just started letting people in. Like, you guys all snuck in, and then there was a line of people that were like, we've been waiting. Yeah. Yeah. Front row. That was a reserved seat for you. Yes, come one, come all. Don't be afraid to sit near people who are laughing. That makes laughter
Does anybody
better.
actually call them swag badges, or do we just call them swagges? Okay.
Swagges.
You keep saying swag badge, and I die a little inside every time you do it, because nobody calls it that.
Oh, look at that. Look at all our wonderful people here.
It's like when your teacher says something is on fleek, and that's like 10-year-old slang.
Should I tell the Lego story, then get started?
That's going to go in with the swag, because...
Yeah, zoom in it. Yeah. Oh.
Snorlax.
There's only 2 in the game, and they're next to each other. That's rare. Man, the cameras here are great.
Giving me motion sickness.
Nope. Not interested. That guy's got a squid hat. Yeah.
Oh my god, I kind of want to take a picture of the squid hat, because legitimately my dog's favorite toy is a electric green squid.
Yes, my dog would love that. Stop stealing our laughs. Focus. There we go. I think we need to get started, but people are still like filing in, so I feel bad. Hey, stop showing off how empty the front row is. That's really not helpful.
We're all gonna be safe, and we're all gonna have a great time.
All right, while people are filing in, I'll tell this story real quick, and then we'll get started. I did a Lego convention once. I was doing stand-up at a Lego convention, and
Didn't go well.
I'm not the biggest Lego guy, but I tried my best to write Lego jokes. So I was writing all these Legos jokes, and I was like, yeah, I like to play with Legos, yay, and I was doing all these bits, and I got no laughs. Everyone just stared at me angrily. And I was like, you guys don't like my Legos jokes? And they were like, no. It did not click. I couldn't make it fit together. It was bad. It was a crowd. It was like a huge crowd, too, of like people 3 to 99 years old. And after the show, someone came up to me and was like, hey, it's pretty tough up there, which is when you know you had a really good set, is when someone says, it's pretty tough up there. And he went, just so you know, it was like nails on a chalkboard hearing you use the word Legos. At BrickCon, we say Lego. I was like, oh, okay.
So
I'm
how
so
are you enjoying?
Sorry, everybody.
So how's everybody enjoying their swag badges?
Yeah, so you're enjoying your swag badge?
Oh, wait, every time
They are still coming in. All right, sure.
Every time you say that, I'm dying.
Yeah. I'm uncool.
Yeet.
All right, I think we got to get this bad boy started. I know people are still filing in. Feel free to grab seats. While you're grabbing a seat, listen to comedy, because comedy's about to happen. Guys, you ready for the Plus 2 comedy show? You have to leave so I can introduce you.
All right, bye.
It's really weird if you're on stage during this part.
Well, you started the show by talking about a time you bombed.
Okay,
I thought maybe
all
I
right.
needed to be here.
Guys,
Fine,
you ready?
I'm back here.
Guys, are you ready for your first comedian? Your first comedian was just on stage wearing a similar colored shirt to mine. Please give it up for Laura Prince.
What, am I allowed out now? Oh, okay, I'm glad I'm allowed out. Hey, everybody, how's it going? It's been, an entire, 2 minutes since I last spoke to you. No, not even. It's been about 15 seconds. So, what are you saying? All blonde women look the same to you? So, you might be able to tell by the fact that I'm wearing glow sticks as an adult with a scrunchie around my wrist, but I am an aging manic pixie dream girl. That is a hard life, guys. I am currently in physical therapy because I fell off a carousel horse. That is not even a bit. That is 100% true. It's not even like an old story that I'm bringing out like, oh, I'll use this thing that happened to me. No, I fell off a carousel like a month ago. I skipped physical therapy to be here. Yeah. Skipping medical obligations to tell jokes. So if you think you want to be with someone who's a manic pixie dream girl, remember that they're really clumsy and you're gonna need health insurance. Because it's becoming really expensive to be a manic pixie dream girl. Do you have any idea? I got married. And it's really, my mom had to have 3 or 4 different awkward conversations with me at my wedding where she'd be like, Laura, Mom, I'm right here. Why is that boy crying? Oh, that's Steve. I taught him how to dance for prom in high school because he was too afraid to ask anyone to dance. Yeah, we were together for 2 weeks. Why? Okay, well, what about that guy who's crying? Oh, that's Brad. We got snowed in together once and I taught him the meaning of life. Who's that? Oh, that's Ted. He just likes weddings. So, yeah, I'm still, I just got the pink out of my hair. I kind of thought about keeping it in, but I just cut it off and I was like, yes, now I'm an adult. And then, do I really look like I'm pulling off adulthood right now? I fell off a carousel horse. So I want to gonna do kind of a test joke here because I want to see what we're working with. So I've been feeling really stressed out recently, really under pressure, like that Titan submarine. Y'all laughed. Now I know what kind of people you are. I like that joke. I test the waters. No, I love everything about that story. The only thing that story needed was orcas. Because they called it the Titan. Like, if I wrote this in a story, I would get flamed for how unrealistic it is. Like, nobody would name a poorly made submarine made with the Mad Catz controller you give your cousin when he comes over. No, surely nobody would make a submarine with that and then name it after the most famous nautical disaster of all time. Surely. And they did. And now I know what kind of people you all are. I mean, you're not better than me. I wrote the joke, so like clearly I'm not doing great. I still think it might have been viral marketing for the Markiplier movie. Like, I still think it might have been like viral marketing for Iron Lung. So have you guys heard about Silk Song? Really? Have you heard anything? When's it coming out? Anything? Anything. That's become the new. I used to have a Kingdom Hearts joke that I would tell a Kingdom Hearts 3 joke every single year until it came out. And I don't want to talk about how many years I got to recycle that joke. And now it's Silk Song. And one year, I don't want to tell that joke anymore. Just please put Silk Song out. Again, I'm getting old, so I have to look at my notes because, all of the tap dancing in my youth. I really like cozy games now. And I like life simulators. And I've realized that cozy games and life simulators are just all the things you'll never get to do as like millennials and Gen Z. It's like, oh, you get to buy a house. Oh, you get to go outside. Oh, you get to enjoy free time. Oh, you get to start a bed and breakfast as a bear. Bear and breakfast, it's great. I realized I'd hit a low when I was playing the game Unpacking. In my apartment that I had never actually fully unpacked. Like, I was making sure all of her little, like, travel tchotchkes were in the right place. And meanwhile, I am sitting in a pile of completely packed boxes of like all of my own ephemera, and I was like, no. The real unpacking is the emotional garbage we're gonna do along the way. So I also used to really like, we're gonna call them girl games. This isn't really so much a thing now, but like back in the 90s, we used to have games where like you had to get in sync to their concert on time. And these games were broken. They were borderline unplayable. Somewhere there's like Nintendogs who are like in the arms of the angel because I have long since just ignored them. And those kinds of games don't really exist anymore because we've all learned something. Any game is a girl game if you want to date the lead character enough. What's good, Asterion? What's good, PETA being in the Five Nights at Freddy's movie? What's good, Bonnie in the Five Nights at Freddy's movie? Yeah, it's the rabbit. So when I was writing the joke, I wanted to spell Asterion correctly in my notes. That none of you see, so who cares? But when you Google it, because I wanted to spell it right, so I had it in my notes. And when you Google Asterion, the first two questions are, can I fix him? And should I let him bite me? And I'm just so glad we haven't learned anything from Twilight. I'm so glad that like 15 years after the Twilight craze ended, Twilight's back? Oh no. Yeah, so Twilight's back and The Hunger Games is back. And I found that The Hunger Games was back because I went on one of those like you meet for coffee networking dates, like not a date, but like one of these networking like hellscape things. And he was the guy I was like trying to talk to about like an opportunity was talking about how his wife liked The Hunger Games because the new movie just came out, and he's like, yeah, like there's like the bread guy and then there's like the other guy. And look, we all love different things in nerd culture, right? I'm seeing all sorts of fandoms represented in everybody's attire currently. But there's one thing we all do, whether we want to admit it or not. Sometimes we all have this moment where we have to make a decision. Is it worth explaining this to someone? And you have that moment and you just go, and we've all done it. And we've all probably done it in the last 48 hours. I did it trying to explain where I was going this weekend. So he's like, oh, it's the bread guy and the other guy. And I was like, PETA saved her from starvation, and Gail was her childhood friend, and they learned to hunt together. And I did not get that job. But I love that stuff is back. So I've been playing a lot of like, I've been playing a lot of like repeaty games because I just like kind of like the idea. I'm like, oh, okay, I can just play this and then try to do it again differently, which is definitely healthy. Of being like, oh, okay, maybe I can just relive this and fix it, and maybe I'll do better this time. That's definitely not a sign of mental illness at all. So. But it's like this very Groundhog Day situation of like you play Deathloop and you keep living the same day. You play Outer Wilds and you keep getting eaten by the same anglerfish. You play 12 minutes and... Oh, I can tell who played 12 minutes based on who laughed. Don't Google it. You don't want to know. I've also been playing Hades, and that's not the definition of insanity. Because honestly, who isn't going to just be like, you know what? I need to pet that dog again. Yes, very good. And then you get to play this fun game called, especially in the early runs of Hades, called Romanceable or Related. But if you know anything about Greek mythology, why not both? So, speaking of mythology, I had a hard time with the new God of War because I get it. Like, you can tear Castor and Pollux apart. You can rip off Helios' head to make a surprise tool that'll help us later. But that dog dies of old age in that first scene. I'm out. I can't. I can take a lot of violence, but you kill a dog, I am out. Even though nothing bad. Like, the dog doesn't get brutally murdered like everything else in God of War. But, like, Fenrir dies, and you're like, no, I can't. Goodbye. So I also play a lot of horror games, which is great for someone who has, like, horrifying anxiety. But I also like studying horror. And horror tends to manifest of things we are currently anxious about. So, like, in the 2000s, we were seeing a lot of, like, internet horror because the internet's scary. Analog horror because everyone's found, like, that weird videotape in their parents' basement. And if you're lucky, it's cursed. If you're not lucky, your parents made that videotape. Ooh, did that hit home for somebody? So now, but like, look at what horror is about now. Like, Megan, Five Nights at Freddy's, Poppy's Playtime. We are scared of children. And I was like, that's weird. Why are we scared of kids? And then my best friend had a baby. Oh my God, I've never been so terrified of anything in my life. She hands me this kid, and I'm like, oh no. Like, anything in your house, I could reasonably figure out how to replace. Even like things with sentimental value. I'm like, I'm sure I could find a way to do this. That baby is like the only thing where I'm like, nope, I am not making you one of those. Oh God. But I do love my nephew, but also I've never been more afraid of anything. But I can't wait till he's old enough that I can weaponize him against his parents. Because my favorite activity this summer, I'm from New Jersey. So yes, thank you. Usually I have to skate right past that and be like, I'm from New Jersey, please listen to me anyway. So I go to the New Jersey, like Philly area. But I go to, Huh? Go Birds. Go Birds. Are we still saying go birds? Are the birds still going? The birds are not still going. But so I went to the boardwalk and I discovered my new favorite sport was convincing parents that they should absolutely buy their children Huggy Wuggy toys. Because the kids are like, I want this one. And they're like, what is that? He has big sharp teeth. And I'm like, oh, he's from Poppy's Playtime. And then, like, there's nothing funnier than watching parents Google something for the first time that their child has been actively consuming for a long time. One of my friends was like, my 6-year-old likes Five Nights at Freddy's. What is that? And I was like, you ever been to a Chuck E. Cheese? It's those, but they gorily kill you. And so I'm like looking forward to the day I can start like getting my nephew to enjoy things that I know will really, really kill his parents. I read somewhere that one of the highest selling games of last year was Hogwarts Legacy. I don't know anyone who's played it. It's so interesting. Like I don't know anyone who's played it. I never played it. I think the legacy that is the most interesting is how J.K. Rowling managed to Avada Kedavra her own. But the other thing I find really interesting is that the unforgivable curses are behind a paywall. Sending the message that, like, no, you can use those if you're rich. Oh, the only 3 laws in the wizarding world, if you're rich, it's fine. But I'm more of a Pokemon person myself. And this is another place where it turns out I am getting old because I played Pokemon Snap, but I played it on the Switch. And I realized I am incapable of sitting still whilst playing Pokemon Snap because you can kind of like use your Switch to look around like this. And so the only thing snapping are like the tendons in my shoulders and neck. And my neighbors, as they hear me yell, oh my God, Score Bunny, get back here, you little brat. I don't use, sometimes it's words more than brat. I try not to swear. I try. I also I was watching the Nintendo Direct, and my favorite thing about the Nintendo Direct this time around was that there's Pokemon School, meaning school was an option the whole time. So Ash Ketchum's mother just sent him out into the world when school was an option. Like, how bad do you want to start dating Professor Oak? To just be like, okay, 10-year-old, bye. So, Professor Oak, what's good? They're making a Detective Pikachu sequel, which I'm really excited about because you get to hang out with Growlithe and drink coffee, which is all I want to do anyway. But I think that, you know how we were talking about how cozy games are the ultimate wish fulfillment for millennials? I think Detective Pikachu falls into that too. Think about it. It's a world where Pokemon are real, they like you, and your father's proud of you. That's my time. I'm Laura Prince. Are you ready for your next comic? He is in the back like a goblin somewhere. All right. He is the other half of Plus Two Comedy. I'm genuinely unsure what side he's going to come out of. He is Noah Houlihan. I never know what you're about to do.
Thanks. I'll use this mic. Hey, what's up? Before I get started, I want to have a real talk with you guys. Do you guys know who H Bomber Guy is? Couple of you. Okay, so for those of you who don't, H Bomber Guy is a YouTuber who recently put out like a huge video essay explaining how a bunch of YouTubers are plagiarists and basically ended their careers. And I'm in that video. Don't freak out. I'm in the background. I did a show with one of those guys, and there's a moment where you see me sitting in a chair, just kind of like giggling to myself, which means that for the last, 2 months since that's come out, Every week, someone discovers I'm in this video and tweets out, "Oh my God, Noah's in this," with a link to plagiarism on YouTube. And then someone else sees it and goes, "Oh my God, I didn't know Noah was a horrible person." And I have to jump out and be like, "Listen, I'm not a plagiarist. I'm just in the background." And I have been dealing with that for 2 months, and I just needed to clear that up before I got started. Anyway, thank you. Anyway, if you've ever seen a broken escalator and thought, "That's just temporarily stairs," you might be a redneck. Get her done. Hot Pockets. Woo! I'm so happy to be here at MAGFest. We barely made it before the snow, thank God. It was a tough drive. I got a dash cam for my car now. Does anyone have a dash cam? It's the dumbest thing I've ever done to myself, is a dash cam, is I put a narc in my car. It was like, a camera that films me at all times? This will only help me. That's great. And I found out on the drive that it doesn't just record everything that I'm driving past. It records the audio inside the car. So that means if I ever have to go to court, I have to explain what I'm doing in my own car. I'm just going to be like, "Yes, Your Honor, as you can see here, I'm using my turn signals. I am obeying the rules of the road and maintaining the speed limit, all while perfectly nailing the poker rap. Electro, Diglett, Nidoran, Mankey, Venusaur, Rattata, Fearow, Pidgey, Sea King, Jolteon, Dragonite, Ghastly." And then you see here, the plaintiff cuts me off, and you can see that I'm aware of this because I call him an egg-sucking nerf herder. And then here he slams on his brakes, causing me to slam into him, which causes the camera to fall off my windshield, and it looks like there's a Doki Doki Literature Club body pillow next to me. But clearly the camera was damaged in the accident, and I would like to add that to my plea. Where am I in my set? I've already gotten lost. Oh my God. God of War came out. God of War was fantastic. Did you guys play the new God of War? Because it's great. Oh my God. The thing that I loved about God of War is you created this brand new character, and he fit in so seamlessly with all of the Greek gods. And then you were able to just pluck him out and put him with the Norse gods, and it still made perfect sense. Like, to be able to write a character like that is impressive. And then I realized that means that Kratos is a Mary Sue. Yeah, it hurt me too. This is nothing but mythology fan fiction. And someone was like, "Yes, all the Greek gods were doing their business, controlling all of Greece. And then the super cool buff guy showed up that all the women love. And nobody minded that he was bald and pasty white. And everyone loved him. And he never did anything wrong." I just beat Ragnarok. And I had this problem. They do this thing. And I know it's like game design. But you have your son, Atreus, with you. And you go through all these challenges, and it's like kind of open world. So you can get to a point where you're somewhere you're not supposed to be yet, and then you just get your ass kicked. And then when you like come back to life, Atreus is like, "You know, we don't have to be here. We could do something else." And I understand that that is the game designer saying like, "Hey, why don't you go level up?" But I don't take that crap from my son. I was like, "Oh, you think Daddy can't do this? Daddy's going again." Let's go to war. Just being gaslit by my son. It won it didn't win Game of the Year, did it? Did Ragnarok win Game of the Year? Elden Ring, right. I love the Game Awards, I really do, but I watched it this year, And they had, like, best adventure game, best voice actor, all that good stuff. And then they had best esport athlete, which, nothing against esports, but they already have awards for esports. They're called esports. Like, could you imagine if at the end of the Super Bowl they were just like, and there you have it, the Baltimore Ravens beat the San Francisco 49ers 27-17. But who do you think won the Super Bowl? Vote now for the Ravens, the 49ers, or vote for the Eagles. Who cares? Standard text messaging fees apply. I've gone completely off script from my notes. I have no idea where I am right now. It's great. Did you guys watch The Last of Us? The Last of Us show? It's so good. It was so unbelievably good. I can't believe they were able to pull off that show. And it's the saddest thing I've ever seen. And what's incredible to me is The Last of Us is not a game. Like, whenever you play, like, Mario, you just run around, you squish the Goomba, and then you run away, and that's it. Every time in The Last of Us, you sneak up on someone, you kill them, and then someone else runs up and goes, "Oh my God, Bill! They killed Bill! What am I going to tell your wife? You had such a problem." And then you have to kill that guy. And then they made that a show. And it's just as sad, except for the stuff they decided to make sadder. There's a moment in the show where a clicker is, like, under debris and, like, can't move. And Ellie's just kind of, like, poking it. And, like, subtly, through just, like, expression, you can tell that the clicker wants Ellie to stab it in the head because it's in pain. So she stabs it in the head. And now, not only am I sad from playing the game and killing all those people, now I have to be sad about all the zombies I didn't kill. That's a lot of pressure to put on me. And it's tough because my mom loves this show. Like, my mom loves The Last of Us. And now I get to be like the snooty person who read the book first, which is a new experience. My mom calls me up and like, "Oh, yeah, I love that. I can't wait to see what happens to Joel next." I was like, "Oh, you can wait. You can wait. Love that Ellie. I hope she finds a boyfriend soon." Do you? Do you now? That's great. She's like, "Oh, I just love it so much. I really want to know what happens next. I can't wait. I can't wait." You want to know? She actually said to me, "Oh, my God, it was so beautiful when they were with the giraffes. It was so touching." I was like, "You didn't earn giraffes. I had to watch Joel die 100 times before I even got close to giraffes. You really want to know what's going to happen next? Here's the sequel. Play it." So then a week later, she had platinumed it. And now she's halfway through Elden Ring and won't give me back my PlayStation. So that's what I'm dealing with. I am so lost in my notes. I went completely off script, and now everything's just out the window. Yeah, this is worthless now. All right. I don't remember. No. Did you guys get the remake to Super Mario RPG? Enough for me to tell this joke? Cool. I know. Well, here's the thing that I find suspicious about this. We've wanted more Super Mario RPG for years. And I feel like they were like waiting for that moment to be like, "All right, we're done making more Smash characters. Here's Mario RPG." Because we want a whole new generation of people going, "Oh my God, Gino's amazing. Why isn't he in Smash?" No, nothing can be in Smash anymore. And now all the Smash clones are out, like the Smash like alternatives are coming out, trying to seize that ground, and people were actually saying like, ooh, you know, multiverses. It's going to be the new smash. Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl? That's going to be the new smash. Yeah, I'm sure. You know, like when Nicktoons Racing came out and we all stopped playing Mario Kart, it's going to be the same thing. But what I love about the fact that we have Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl is that's replacing the Smash reveals. Like, that's the only thing that we have anymore to, like, scratch that itch. So it's like, oh, there's going to be a new character coming to Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl as told by Ginger. Come on. As told by Ginger. No, I want Rocket Power. Oh, Mr. Big Head. Mr. Big Head. Ah, Fire Emblem again. Damn it. It was really important to me that I do that joke because I messed it up last year. And that time I said it correctly. It felt good. Yeah, that was from me. That was from me. So a friend of mine wanted me to go out drinking, and he was like, hey, there's this great new brewery that's in New York. They have like a key lime pie beer, and I really want to try it. Do you want to go? And I was like, I'd love to go. Let me ask my wife. And he was like, oh, really? You're one of those guys? You have to ask your wife permission to do anything? And I was like, no, it's not that I have to ask permission. It's that I don't know. I have no idea what I'm doing tomorrow. It's easier if I check with her first than say yes and then you're disappointed later. Like, I need you to understand that every day I wake up like it's a new game. And I just look at my wife and go, what are we doing today? I'm going to work? All right. Sounds good. I came back and I was like, yeah, I'd love to go, but I can't. I asked my wife. It turns out that day's my sister's wedding. I'm allergic to key lime pie, and I'm still not allowed in New York. So it's a court thing. We got to get it all figured out. I did get a new job recently. I teach stand-up. I actually teach stand-up to 12-year-olds. And I was like, this is perfect. Like, I'm the perfect person to teach comedy to, like, 12-year-olds. So I was like, I can relate to these kids. It's great. And I was like, hi, I'm Noah. We're going to do, comedy. So you guys like Pokemon? And one of the kids said, no, that's for old people. And I just died. I just ceased existing and laid down on the ground. I pulled myself together and I was just like, all right, well, that was my big opener. What else? Like Fortnite? Do you guys play Fortnite, please, kids? And this kid went, no, I hate Fortnite. I played it once and I got killed by an 8-year-old who was talking trash to me. And I never played it again. And I was like, oh, that's what happened to me. And that's how we bonded. I was like, yeah, screw 8-year-olds. Well, no. I should practice these jokes out loud before I say them in front of people. Where's my book? I did play Fortnite for a while, and there was that time where Fortnite was like the big sensation. And everyone was like, oh, this is ruining children. Like, it's corrupting their minds. I was like, really? You think people are being corrupted by Fortnite? Like, I've never heard someone be like, yeah, my son is completely destroyed by Fortnite. Every day he just runs outside and gathers wood. I tried to take him to McDonald's, and he said, no, that's where noobs drop. And then one time I saw him stub his toe, and he screamed, I'm taking damage, and he built a house around himself. All right, I think I can get personal with you guys. I'm going to tell you guys a deep, dark story about me. So get excited. And I'm going to be honest with you. This is a real story, and throughout the course of this story, you are going to fear for my safety. So I'm going to let you know now how the story ends so you're not worried. At the end of this story, My wife runs into the room and goes, Noah, stop! That man's trying to have sex with you. All right. So, I went to my first orgy. And there's this thing where, like, you don't want to go to an orgy because you're afraid that, like, no one's going to want to, get partnered up with you. There's a worse person to be. That's the person who goes to the orgy and doesn't know that it's an orgy and thinks he's just going to a fun party. So I showed up at this party, and I didn't know everybody, but everyone was super nice. Like, everybody liked hugs. I was like, all right, this is cool. I like this. Everyone here's super nice. I'm going to get myself a drink. They have a lot of Gatorade. That's weird. Okay. What a weird place. And then I opened a door and saw it. I saw a Super Nintendo. And I was like, oh, I'm spending the whole party in this room. And I went over and I sat down next to this guy who was playing Mega Man X. And I was like, oh, playing Mega Man X? He was like, yeah. And I was like, do you know how to get the secret Hadouken? He was like, I know how to get the secret Hadouken. I was like, all right. You going to beat Sigma? He's like, I'm going to beat Sigma. And I was like, all right, let's do this. And I sat next to this guy, and we beat Mega Man X together. And at the end, we jumped up and we hugged. Not like a sexual hug, but like a we beat all 8 robot masters hug. You know that hug? So we have that hug. And then he pulls me back and he holds me by the shoulders and he goes, well, what do you want to do now? And when he was staring me in the eyes is when it clicked. Super Punch Out. So I put in Super Punch Out. I sit down, and we're playing Super Punch Out. And he puts his arm around me. And I'm like, yeah. It's like you're my doc. This is great. And we're playing, and I get, like, further in the game that I'm, like, used to being. And I'm, like, getting beat up, and I get knocked out, and I have to continue. And he puts his arm around me, and he went, hey, you can do this. And with him, with his arm around me, is when I was like, oh, this guy believes in me. I have to beat Super Punch Out. I was like, all right, I'm going to do this, but let me get a drink first. So I went up and I went into the kitchen to get like a beverage, and everybody's gone. What was once a rocking party is now just an empty house. And I was like, that's weird. And then as I'm walking back, someone else is walking past me to get something to drink. And I went, where is everybody? And they went, the kissing room. And I went, that's weird. And at this point, it's on me, really. Probably should have figured something out at this point. And I walk back into the room. And to my surprise, we're not playing Super Punch Out anymore. They have put in Street Fighter. And I was like, oh. And I walk up to the guy I was with, and he's sitting next to someone else now. And I was like, dude, Super Punch Out. What happened? And he was like, we decided we were going to play Street Fighter now. And I went, oh. All right. And he's like, well, do you want to play Super Punch Out? Or do you want to play Street Fighter? I was like, I guess, but now there's no place for me to sit. And he went, well, you can sit on my lap. And I was like, that's weird. But he's playing as Chun-Li, and I know all the cancels as E Honda. So I sit on this guy's lap. And we start playing Street Fighter. And I win. And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, yeah. And then my wife runs in and goes, Noah, stop. That man's trying to have sex with you. And I went, no, he's not. And then I looked at him and he went, yeah. Did you not realize that? I'm going to remember this forever. And I get up and go to my wife, and I'm like, how did you know that he was trying to do that? And she went, he told me. He told you? When were you going to clue this in with me? And it was when she came into the room screaming, apparently. And she went, I kind of wanted to see what would happen. I knew you weren't going to do that. And then when she said that to me, I knew you weren't going to do it. She ceased to be my wife. She had turned into Atreus. Oh, you think I can't do this? Daddy's doing this. Let's go. That's it for me. My name's Noah. Laura Prince, everybody. How are we doing on time? We're doing all right on time. So we like to end the show with a Q&A. So if you want to ask us about us, which normally nobody wants to, but I feel like they might have some questions today.
Cool, great.
But if you want to ask some questions about us, you can, as I trip. If you want to ask us about what the greatest video game character of all time, who should have been in Smash, anything like that, we will give you a definitive answer. Or you could all leave. See you guys. Oh, you have a question? I thought you were saying goodbye. You have a question? Sure, shout it out. You get one question. Yes. 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 Yes.
So they had a dog.
So the question was, because I got to repeat it so everyone can hear it. The question
Where
is,
was I during this last
what
story?
was Laura doing during the orgy?
They had a dog, and I was like in the kitchen playing with the dog the entire night. I was like, I don't know anybody. Hi, buddy.
You were in the back of the room for a little bit, like.
I did watch some of Punch Out and had a conversation that you clearly were not
Nope,
a part of.
I was not aware of it. Yeah, twist.
Surprise!
Twist. Shut up about the dog. We're asking Noah about his wife.
What a twist. You've had your hand up like very civilly this whole time. Apparently there are multiple definitions for housewarming.
Yes.
The more you know.
From what I understood, is this was just the agreed thing that happens at this party. And this was our first time, and no one thought to tell us. And we just like, oh, it's nice. Yeah, maybe it was a prank. Does anyone have any non-orgy related questions? Way too many hands went down.
We're the grown-up version of the friend you hang out with to cover to your parents.
Pokeball. Who was the most disappointing reveal for Nickelodeon All-Stars? I was kind of bummed that the Angry Beavers are one character. I thought Daggett would be fun on his own. Also, I think the Fire Emblem of Nickelodeon All Stars is the Ninja Turtles. It's just like, oh, Raph, awesome, red, cool. Did you have a thought on who you
I
were
haven't really been paying attention to the reveals. Just I open that game once every 3 to 4 months. I'm like, there's new people.
Yeah. Laura saw Reptar and was happy. All right, questions.
Yeah,
questions,
really just
questions.
play Reptar and nothing else.
We'll go with the pink hat, just because the mic is closest. The mic is off. The mic is broken.
Oh, no.
We will come back to you. I'll pick someone up front, because it's close enough that I can do this. Ugh. Yes, question.
Yeah, when are you bringing wrestling to MAG?
Great question. For those of you who don't know, I am currently the reigning, defending Multiverse Cosplay Pro Wrestling Tag Team Champion. And that is Princess Peach,
I'm the ring announcer. I don't fight anybody.
the Lord and Sovereign of Cosplay Pro Wrestling.
I'm not.
We've been trying to bring Cosplay Pro Wrestling to MAG for 5 years now. It is impossible because Maryland has laws. Like, that's basically the crux of the problem. We've been working towards it. Make some noise about it, and maybe it'll happen next year.
No,
Not like
in
a cheering
feedback,
way.
not here. I mean, yay. Yes.
Write to your congressman. Maybe we can get.
All right, yes,
Cosplay
we had a
Pro Wrestling
question.
here. Yes.
What's the timestamp in the H Bomber Guy video?
What's the timestamp? It's like 23 minutes in, I think.
For what?
Yeah. When am I in the H Bomber Guy video?
Oh, yeah, because you're in the background of a
Yes.
string of videos this year.
It's during the roast of the angry video game nerd. It's me, and I'm seated right next to Keith Apicary, also known as Dad on YouTube. It is the weirdest thing I've ever done, and it continues to haunt me. So yeah, that's where you can find it. Yes.
Weird question. What would be your Nightmare Blunt rotation of Smash Brothers characters?
What was it?
Your Nightmare Blunt rotation?
My Nightmare Blunt rotation? What?
Is that what you said? Okay.
I don't know what those words. I know all those words separately.
I don't know. You know how we said that we're the friends you invite to cover to your parents?
Yeah, okay. So Nightmare
Blunt rotation.
Noah,
I'm saying this correctly?
We need one of the youth to tell us.
I'm not the youth, but I'll tell you, it's the worst group of people you would want to smoke weed with.
Okay, so it's exactly what I thought it was, but I didn't want to guess. Because I was afraid being wrong was going to make me look
What
like
would be the worst group
the
of
biggest
people?
dork at MAGFest.
Oh, man.
Wario clearly smells bad.
Yes.
Like
literally anyone with me, because I've never, so I don't know how I'd act. So I would, you know what we'd do? We'd hang out with the Duck Hunt dog. Just, why is everyone else acting so weird? Everyone's eyes are open real wide. I'm sorry that's the best answer I can give you.
I just picture myself throwing snacks to the piranha plant, here, buddy.
Yeah, eat that. Good duck. Yes, question.
Do you two go to open mics, and what is the best open mic in DC?
Do we go to open mics?
Not in DC, actually.
Not so much in DC,
We're based out of
unfortunately.
Philly.
Yeah, we're
roughly.
based out of Philly. I will tell you right now, the best place for open mic comedy is at the Tap Room Bar and Grill, which is a place that I run. And we run it every Wednesday. It's in Haddonfield, New Jersey. And I doubt any of you will come, but on the 9th, the first Wednesday in February, we're having a Royal Rumble. It's 30 comics, 30 roast battles. It's going to be insane. So yeah, that is your answer. Helium Comedy Club is really good too. Yes.
to both of you, what is your favorite video game tie-in merch?
Ooh, favorite
Oh my
video
God.
game tie-in merch.
I feel like the lamest answer is the mountain of Pokemon plushies I own, but that is my favorite. Like, I have a lot of them. It's getting problematic.
I collect bad video game peripherals. Those are my favorite. Like, I was at a convention and I bought the Wii bowling ball. And I was so desperate to buy it, and it was like on display only. And because it was just like, nobody's going to want this. And I had to be like, can you call your boss and let me buy this? And they called their boss, and they actually heard them say, yeah, there's some guy here that saw the Wii bowling ball, and it was like he saw God. So I would say that. My holy grail is the N64 chainsaw controller. I've never been able to find one.
Yeah, the
that
PlayStation one was upstairs in the museum, and you just stared
Yes.
at it like...
The best that I have is the PlayStation Power Glove. A lot of people don't even know it exists, but it's so bad. I'm sorry.
Since I feel like this might be emotionally important to you, did you ever get to finish Punch-Out that night?
Did you finish Punch-Out that night?
Did you finish
Did I finish Punch-Out? No, I've never beat Punch-Out. I lost to Jackie Chung, I think is the guy's name.
Oh, yeah, because it was old Punch-Out.
I
where everything
remember
was a
the
little
video
lit.
game.
Little rough.
What's up?
How did you guys get into stand-up comedy?
Spite.
So
I said what I said. Spite.
I'll let you explain, but how did we get into stand-up comedy? The way I got into this is I was just talking to friends like, wouldn't it be awesome if there was a stand-up comic that just did nerd stuff? And then I slowly realized, like, no one's going to do that unless I do it. So I started doing it, and now we come to MAGFest, and it's the best. The best way to do it, like, this is the dumbest advice, but it's the thing that someone had to say to me, which was, oh, you want to be a stand-up comedian? Start doing it. And I was like, oh, yeah. It's not. No one's ever going to walk up to me and be like, hey, the stand-up job's over here. It's a salary, it's got benefits. That's never going to happen. You just kind of have to start doing it. Laura's story, however, spite.
Spite. I went to some open mics when we first started dating, because I think this is the first... We generally, when working, do not acknowledge any sort of relationship.
Yeah, this is the first time we've ever actually done it.
To the point where I generally actually don't wear my wedding ring on stage. And I really, you started telling that joke and someone asked about it. And then, so anyway, I started going to shows with him. And sometimes you watch somebody on stage and you're like, I could do that. That's exactly what happened. I was like, I could probably do this. Probably did.
Spite works
Spite,
wonders.
yeah, I just like saying spite.
Yes.
So after you found out it was an orgy,
yeah, you did this.
Did you stay?
Yeah.
Not really. No, we were like...
Well, video games were over when we made this discovery.
Yeah, when I burst into the room, it made it real awkward.
Yeah.
So we left. So I ran and ruined the party and we left. Good job.
I kind of have a memory that I felt weird and like ran out onto the balcony and there were like people hanging out and I was like, can I just hang out with you guys? And they were like, you're just going to sit here? I was like, yeah, we should go home. Yes.
So who's your favorite comedian, past or present?
Favorite comedian, past or present? That's tough because they keep getting canceled.
I am regularly... Taylor Tomlinson legitimately makes me angry with how clever she is.
Yeah.
Like, I'll watch a Taylor Tomlinson bit and be like, she's so smart. Like, she's one about
So
the Old
good.
Testament and, like, being a Taylor Swift album. And it's just such a brilliant joke. So I would have to say Taylor Tomlinson.
Yeah.
And for past, I would say Mitch Hedberg, because I like
Mitch.
the very simple element of, like, that simplicity is so much harder than complicated.
I'll tell this story really quick. When I was very young, my parents were watching something, and I heard them laughing, and I was like, I want to see what my parents are up to. I was like 6. And I walked into the room, and they were like, no, you cannot watch this. This is not for you. And I was like, oh, come on. They're like, no, go back to bed. And I remember looking at the TV and seeing what it was and like mentally taking a picture of it. And then years later, I like stumbled upon an old VHS, and I was like, this is the thing. And it was Dennis Leary's No Cure for Cancer. And I didn't understand it, but I was like, this is amazing. Everyone loves him, and he's just standing there talking. He doesn't like have to do anything. He's not singing. It's just there. I'm going to do that. So I would say Dennis Leary is one of my all-time greats.
I think we can do one more question if there is one.
We got time for one more? Yes.
What was his name?
I bet you don't know.
I'm gonna give you a very real answer here, okay? I'm gonna give you a very real answer. I have run into him at cons before, so I'm not gonna say it because he could be here.
I believe you may have told this joke at one point.
I definitely told this joke once and then saw him later. I was like, ooh. So I'm just gonna leave it at that. A little bow on that. Now you guys have a scavenger hunt. No. If you are around, go check out Mega Man X down in the console lounge. And if someone is like, yo, I have the secret Hadouken, you can have sex with that guy.
No.
No. I'm saying with game, you can get there. Like, that's the opening, and then you've got to play your cards right. Are we ending on that?
We're done. Hadouken is not consent. Good night.
Guys, thank you so much. That's Laura Prince. Noel, and we're +2 Comedy. Follow me on Twitch, +2 Comedy. Thank you guys so much for coming out.